Hi Shivam, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone watching. So, in the last episode where we discussed about the ultimate knowledge of the Vedanta, right? That this ultimate self is Brahman. Everything that we see is that one ultimate reality. Everything around us is that one ultimate reality. We are that one ultimate reality, Sat Chit Anand. But you may think that that reality might is very hard to realize. I have my daily life to deal with. I have my daily chores to perform. I have my family to take care of. I have my relationships, and I have to engage in actions through 16 hours a day when I'm awake. I have things coming up to me. Things go my way. Things don't go my way. How do I deal with that? And for that, Sri Krishna has a solution, which we're going to discuss. It's called Karma Yoga, or the yoga of action. It mostly talks about how do we spiritualize our day-to-day actions. How do we get not get entangled to actions that sort of bind us to this world, actions that entangle us to this world, because we have some hopes or expectations from these actions. How do we use those very actions that bind us to get free, to get ultimate happiness? How do we not get attached to those actions? And this is the knowledge that Sri Krishna provides us in in this lessons that we are going to discuss on Karma Yoga. So for this, we are going to dive straight into the Bhagavad Gita. And one thing I always remember whenever I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita is that we should remember who's talking here. The God incarnate himself, Sri Krishna, the ultimate, that one ultimate reality, Sri Krishna is talking. So that adds a whole new dimension of seriousness whenever we look at the chapters, and a whole new level of absorption whenever we look at the shlokas. So, just to give a brief background, so Arjuna is supposed to fight this war where he's fighting a war with his own relatives, and he's ultimately like so grief stricken and in a period of like anxiety. He's depressed. He doesn't want to fight, and he wants to gives up, and he turns up to Krishna for help. And there's a good message in that, because he had that willingness to approach Krishna for help. He said that, okay, I am in this situation now. Please help me. Please guide me. And there's a very good message here. Like when you are entangled in your own personal problems, there is a lot of wisdom, and there's a lot of literature. There are so many people out there to help you. You should have that willingness in you to approach people for help, or get help yourself. Like look at YouTube lectures, or look at the Bhagavad Gita, or look at any other thing that helps you, right? And so that's how. So Arjuna used his own happiness as a gateway. Arjuna used his unhappiness. Arjuna used his anxiety as a gateway to become happy by approaching Sri Krishna. So this is what even we should do, right? So let me just share my screen and just get straight into the Bhagavad Gita. And yeah, let me just Shivam, can you see my screen?
Oh, yeah, I can.
So here I one point I wanted to highlight. So after Arjuna has depicted his situation in the previous shlokas, and Krishna and Sanjay is narrating this the Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra, that you all that we know. And Sanjay says that, "O Dhritarashtra, therefore in the midst of both armies, Sri Krishna smilingly spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjun." So the word I want to focus is smilingly spoke, right? So there possibly cannot be a more dynamic, intense situation than this. We are witnessing the greatest battle that has been fought, and Arjuna is fighting his own relatives. So imagine the amount of grief, anxiety that he has, and he's approached Sri Krishna. But look at Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna smilingly spoke the following words, right? Smilingly. So this he has a calm, impenetrable, calm disposition inside the core of his inside his core. So there's a good message here that during this period of intense nerve-wracking action, the mind is absolutely calm. So whenever unexpected things happen in your life, your mind should be absolutely calm. This is the ideal of karma yoga. This equanimity, this equipoiseness during the period of intense, high octane action is what Krishna is teaching us by his calm disposition. And this is what I want to highlight. And now we are going to get straight into the words of karma yoga. And this sloka, I think everyone in India would have heard this. It is so popular. If you haven't even heard about the Gita, I'm sure you would have heard this sloka, karmanye vadikaraste. So it means there are 4 points that are to be highlighted here. Is He says you have right to perform your prescribed duties, meaning you have control over what you're going to do. What you're going to do, is absolutely under your control. And here it's quite different from our first discussion where we said that, oh, where we you have free will, and we had that whole discussion. Here it means like you have free will. And because that's the basis of most religions, right? And most people won't follow any religion if they were told that, okay, you don't have any free will, you don't have a choice. Because we have a choice, that's why people follow. And even in the case of, if some in the case of courts, if somebody has committed a crime or a felony, he's given a fair trial. Why? Because the most common arguments lawyers give is that, okay, the person was not in a mental health to exercise his free will, or he was influenced. And that is one ground which lawyers use. So only if you have free will, that's when you will commit a heinous crime or not. So even courts take into the action this concept of free will. The second part is you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. So the results are not in your hands. Whatever you're going to do, results depend on a variety of causes. It's your own past karma, or whatever. If things go your way, well and good. If things don't go your way, it's not in your hands. And never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activity. So don't do anything for the results. Throughout, flush out this feeling of, if I'm going to do, oh, I'll get this, that's why I'm doing this. All action should be unselfish actions. This is what Krishna is trying to teach us. And also, nor be attached to inaction. So Krishna doesn't say that, oh, like Arjuna wanted to give up this war, he wanted to be a sannyasi. Krishna said, no, be in the war, fight this war. But how do you fight this war? Without being attached to the results. Give your 100% without being attached to the results. So this is the difference, that karma versus karma yoga. Karma is basically is a product of cause and effect, right? Karma is actions done having results in mind, actions done hoping that I'll get something out of it. So, but karma yoga is doing unselfish actions with the slightest feeling of any result. And here, the component, if you add this component of bhakti to your actions, it makes the path of karma yoga quite easy. Because whenever you're engaged in any action, you think that I'm doing it for Krishna, or think it I'm doing for the guru. That makes the path very easy. And whatever results come out of it, think the results as prasada, right? Because when you go to the temple, oh, I want to share one story here. Like when I was in Kolkata, like during our neighbors, during our pujas, they'll come with prasada. You give prasada during some puja. And there used to be one puja called Lokhi Puja or Lakshmi Puja, which I used to wait for the entire, because the prasad one neighbor used to give was so tasty. Like you used to get round puris, and the puris used to have some dal inside it. It's called Radha Pallavi in Bengali. And there used to be fried rice also, and not with the garlic and onion, but plain sattvic food. So whole year I used to wait for that prasada, because usually you just get the simple sweet or a laddu at most as prasada. So offer all your results as prasada, because when you get prasada, you don't distinguish between, okay, this prasada is good, oh, I'm just getting the usual laddu, I'm not getting the usual puri in the prasada, right? So you don't distinguish between prasada. So that's how every result that comes to you, take it as prasada. It can be good. If it's good, well and good. If it's bad, okay. This is a product of my past karma. This is what my my endearing, my loving Krishna is giving to me. So I'll accept it. So that attitude will really help you, like, because now my focus on doing the action is not to satiate a inner lacuna within myself, not to for some selfish desire, but I'm doing it for the welfare of others. I'm doing it for Krishna. And the thought that I'm doing it for Krishna is not to be counted as a selfish thought. It's a purely unselfish thought. Because how the normal world works is, people do actions expecting they'll get something out of in return. The moment you do that, you have sort of created a void in yourself. That's the default nature of desires. The nature of desires is, it makes you dependent. It makes you, you have sort of outsourced your dependence to some external entity, of which you have no control, because we don't have any control over your results. Like recently I was watching this show called Kota Factory, where the main lead doesn't get into IT, spoiler alert, because he couldn't wake up on time on that day, and he went to the wrong center by mistake. So like sometimes things are just not in your hands, results are not in your hands. And that's what Krishna is trying to say. So it's that's the whole thing about it, right? Like it's not it's the work doesn't matter what the work makes you as a person that matters. If you do work like karma yoga, you're going to grow, you're going to be you're going to be very mature. And this is called yoga. And even in the verse 49, where Krishna says that uh, miserly are those who enjoy the fruits of their works, right? So you should not be attached to the fruits of your work at all. You just need to do your actions as a prasada to Krishna, as a prasada to the Lord. And yeah, like sometimes you'll get good results, sometimes you'll get bad results, right? When you get good results, don't be overjoyed. Don't get too overexcited. When you get bad results, you just have to put up with it, right? As Sri Krishna said in chapter 2 verse 14, if you look at it, when bad results come, just put up with it. That's what he said in Adi Shankaracharya's Vivek Chudamani. He says a word called chinta vilapa rahitam titiksha cha dushkrite. So sahanam sarva dukkhanam apratikarva purvakam chinta vilapa rahitam titiksha cha dushkrite, meaning chinta vilapa rahitam, whenever things don't, miseries come, don't give in to anxiety, don't give in to depression, don't give in to unhappiness. Be patient. Like patience is one skill that has been glorified so much in the Bhagavad Gita. There's a beautiful word to describe patience. It's called titiksha, or forbearance. And patience is something, like if somebody has patience, love and compassion comes by default. If you see a person who knows how to wait, who has patience, who has the strength to hold up to things, that person is automatically loving and compassionate. So whenever things don't go your way, no, be patient. Okay, and because why be patient? Because know that these things are temporary, anityam. The Buddha said, anityam sarvam anityam, impermanent, everything is impermanent. So know that hard phase or whatever you're going with, it's going to pass. Because everything is temporary, right? So yeah, even in this words, he said this thus. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of working skillfully. The art of working skillfully, meaning practicing karma yoga in your day-to-day actions, right? And yeah, but if you do that, you're going to be more grounded. You won't be affected whenever things go your way or things don't go your way. And this is how you spiritualize your daily life. This is what also will make you closer to Krishna, and also not get affected. And or you will do things for the welfare of others. Even in Hanuman Chalisa, where there's a famous line, Ram Kaj Karibe ko Atur, always eager to help others. Hanumanji was always eager to help Sri Ram. So once you cultivate this attitude, you will always be up for the welfare of others, not doing actions with an absolutely unselfish attitude. All my actions for not for me, but for the welfare of others. Of course, I'm going to put my 100% on my work life. I'm going to give my 200% whenever I'm doing any task with the ultimate focus. But whatever comes out of it, I have no control. If good results come, okay. If bad results come, then also okay. So yeah, this was the yoga of like action or karma yoga that Sri Krishna highlights. And this is how we kind of deal with our day-to-day activities without being affected. So yeah, right now I'll pass it on to Shivam to share his perspective on karma yoga. And yes, over to you, Shivam.
Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. So yeah, I think that was pretty insightful, and there was a lot of things that was very, refreshing and mind changing things. So yeah, I mean that was great, and yeah, I also I believe that from my starting, like I remember when I was very young to the point when things, when I was observing the world and everything to this time, I think one of the most effective things that has worked all the time in my life is to follow the path of karma yoga, because as a human beings we have our minds, we everything, like whatever we absorb around us through our senses, it is supposed to be kind of biased based on the environment, and everything is there. And as a human being we will always have some kind of expectations, whether it be from person, thing, or objects. It could be anything. But the yeah, I mean the actual meaning is to realize that, okay, there are things that are in my control and there are things that are out of my hands. And yeah, to choose a path to do my karma and to do it without thinking about the results and all, that actually makes a lot of difference. And I believe, it will actually help you to go through, as you said, that patience is one of the very key components of Bhagavad Gita. And again, if you follow these things, like if you follow selfless work and all that, that will also help you develop the patience, persistence to go through, extreme situations. You will realize that, okay, this is what it is. You will actually get to the essence of it. And there's a lot of things that, you know gets better when you keep thinking, keep following the path of karma yoga. So definitely it's a very deep thing. And as you said that, with the help of gyan yoga, sorry, bhakti yoga, and when you try to combine these two things, I think it's a perfect mix. And actually, like there are incidents when you have a certain mindset, your mind may not be able to comprehend all that situation, and it may not be able to perform actions, but somehow you still do it. And then there are those moments when you connect with, that's what how it's been for me. Like there are a lot of times when I think if it was just about me, I would have stood nowhere. But then there is some supernatural thing which always, gives a stand from behind, and then you do it, you just do it. And when you do it, it's like, that time you don't realize, but when you look back, you are shocked, like how those events happened. So I think, again, in that case also, as you perform more karma yoga, and as you perform more, bhakti yoga, you
Mm.
slowly get close to this divine supernatural power, Krishna. And then you start to actually dissolve in that environment, which is very different. Like if you see nowadays, as the world is getting more and more ahead, although it's progressing in all ways, but I think, at some point, there we generally feel the disconnect. Not just, it's not about the god, we get disconnected from our friends, people, family and all. And there's always, sometimes we feel like, I remember, like when I was a kid, I used to go out and play with a lot of friends, talk to them and do all those things. Nowadays, I don't see it. Mostly people are approachable, but again, it's some kind of, you can say, effect that has happened, a domino effect from in a last decade, which has made these things get a little bit apart. And I think, when at the time when this kind of connections are hard to make, following these paths, like doing bhakti, doing meditation, doing karma yoga and all these, this actually helps you to connect with the, supreme power. And that connect is so joyful. I know you know it very well, and you also have experienced it. But yeah, that is so, calming, soothing, and it never makes you feel empty. So I think, the part to karma yoga is something that everyone should practice. And uh, initially it may be difficult depending upon which environment you are coming from. Like let's say if you are in an environment where the focus is always on competitiveness, and people are always trying to, get at the top without having any, I would say, because that's, as you said, that's a void in the human mind. Like, there is always something to
Desire.
crave for. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because, if I get it today, then tomorrow I'll have something else, and that never ends until you have your mind and heart towards that Almighty Krishna. And then when you go, when you totally think about that, when you invest your heart and mind to Him, then you feel like there's a lot of things that, as I told you, that soothing effect, calming effect comes into your life, and it actually helps you to direct to, the true purpose. And yeah, that's one more thing is that, like this is also something that I've observed. Whenever, in my early time, when I was attached to my karmas, and whenever I used to pick a karma, I always used to like look at the result. Okay, if this is the result, then only I'm supposed to do it.
Right.
And when I try to do those kind of karma, sometimes you pass, sometimes you fail, and when you fail, it's always disappointment. But one thing that I noticed is that when you do nishfal karma, which
Yeah.
is doing the karma without any expecting any fruits and all, when
Right.
you do, when you follow that path, I don't know, but those were the karma which actually redirected me to the paths where, I never expected it to. I never expected it to be. And so that is something very touching, and that is something I have realized over time. It's like it has always worked.
Right.
it may be like when we speak about it, it may sound like how can it work? But I mean, I would say to you and everyone else who is watching, I mean, just do it yourself and feel yourself. And when you feel it, it will be very connecting and it's very heart touching.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it helps you to be, and again, it helps you to be a better person. It helps you to be um, more consistent, more persistent, more, having more patience. All those things come together. And even when you are born, like let's say when you don't have any idea about the world, and if let's say like if you see the process of human evolution also, we went from the wild tribes, doing all the time hunting, poaching and whatnot, to a civilized society which is moving towards the betterment of the world. And if you see like I mean, initially, if you even when you had no inputs, you did something. Like we started with coming together and then hunting and doing all these things. And in the process, we started to realize. So I think the role of karma is very, I mean, karma yoga is very important, and it helps you to, like, let's say, even if you are lost at some point, like you don't know what's going on and all, then also you can start to perform, nishfal karma, and then you start to getting enrolled into those things. And once you start to enroll, then slowly with that, even with those actions that you perform, without any attachments, you will slowly get to know a lot of things. I mean, that's how it's been. Like a lot of things in my life that I've discovered through is through the same thing. Like when you perform actions and when you perform it without any attachments.
right.
And yeah, I mean, at times people will be thinking like, yeah, you are a fool or something. Like basically they will think that they are taking, I mean, that's something that may have happened with a lot of people. Like they will think that they'll take advantages and all that. But at the same time, whenever you perform these things, it actually helps you to detach from a lot of things that is floating around you, and it also helps you to
Yeah,
actually focus on the things which is better for your well-being, and which actually helps you
It's
to
8 o'clock.
move ahead in the, I mean, in the positive aspects of life. And then when you look back, you think that all those things that you did, it actually made a lot of sense.
yeah,
So yeah, it has a very positive and very mind organizing effect. And
yeah.
I think
This
that's
is
just
what
what
is.
I mean.
Yeah, this is what is yoga. Like he said, now we saw in the chapter, this equanimity, this mindedness, or this serenity of mind to whatever happens in the world, mind is calm. This is what is yoga.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and I totally agree. Like when you add this component of bhakti to your daily actions, it just makes it so easy. I was
Mm.
just there's a in the Bible also Jesus Christ says that I'll also make you work, but my yoke is light. My yoke is light. So if you work for him, you'll get light in that sense, and there's a joy to work for Krishna, right, at the end. So yeah, to conclude, yeah, don't give into elation or depression. Don't give into the ups and downs. Don't give into when things go your way. Sometimes things don't go away. Don't give into that, because whatever the outcome is, it's not just about you. As I said, when a farmer sows a seed in his farm, like there are so many factors involved, right? There's the weather, so many things, the insecticides, whatever that he has to put through. So it's that results are not in your hands. So yeah, be equipoised, constantly practiced karma yoga by not being attached to your day-to-day actions. And yes, like that's how you'll strive to be a better person. And that is what yoga is all about. That is the peace of mind during these situations is yoga. So yeah, that's
Okay.
all what we had for this session, Shivam. And thanks to everyone joining. In the next session, probably we'll discuss about Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, to how to solve your personal problems. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye, Shivam. See you.
Bye.